I've just completed my 7th run using the same soil. I'm about to start my 8th run in this soil. In this video, I'm going to amend the soil prior to planting. I am going to use Stash nutrients, brand new. We've got Stash base, Stash bloom. We only really need the base this time around. The bloom is really only for flowering. I've got some other things here and a whole bunch of soil. So let me crack open this tarp and we'll start talking about the soil. All right, here it is. I'm gonna actually put on gloves right now. Usually I don't wear gloves when I'm handling the soil, but I sliced my finger open yesterday on a can, opening up a can of tuna and then kind of ripping off that top part. Slice, blood gushing everywhere and stuff, so had to cover it with a Band-Aid. Better safe than sorry, I figured I'd wear gloves this time around. And you can see on the top of the soil here, we've got some of the barley straw left over. I used it as a mulch layer. These were in 10-gallon fabric grow pots, the grassroots living soil pots. I basically dumped them all out onto this tarp. I removed the mulch layer. You can see the mulch layer that I removed right here. So that can be reused. I'll reuse that at a later date. But this is what we have for the plain soil. Now what I did was it was a little bit drier than I like it to be. So what I did last night was I added in water to it. Put everything out on the tarp, broke it up as much as possible as I could with my hands. And then I put 4 gallons of water onto the pile and then wrapped up the tarp and left it. It's been about 24 hours since then. And this has added moisture in so much. I'm gonna actually stick a moisture meter in here right now, right in the middle, and we'll see what the moisture level is. I think it's probably gonna be about 20 to 25%. That should be pretty good. This soil was originally Fox Farm Ocean Forest soil. So many, many years ago, like I mentioned, I've already done 7 runs with this. So I think it was back in, gosh, maybe 2023, 2022 or something when I started using the soil. It was really just bags of Fox Farm Ocean Forest soil. And since then I've altered the soil a little bit, right? So first of all, I've been adding in amendments each run. I've either been using Build-A-Soil Craft Blend, which is an all-in-one fertilizer, or I was using Kiss Organics Nutrient Pack. That's another organic fertilizer. And then there were some particular containers that I grew in that I would use Kiss Organics Bloom Booster for flowering in particular. So a whole bunch of different amendments were added in here throughout the years. What I also added in here because I was a little bit worried about the aeration, the amount of oxygen that was able to get down in the root zone. Fox Farm Ocean Forest soil, it holds on to water really well, but unfortunately it can lead to easily oversaturate the medium. So I added in some things for aeration. I added in a little bit of biochar. I added in some rice hulls, some lava rock. I actually added in that last run and things turned out really well at that last run. So that stuff's still in here. The rice hulls will eventually break down, add a little bit of silica in here. You can see some roots in here from the previous grow. This is all fine to leave in there. I did take out the stumps of the plants that were in here before, but leaving these roots in here, this is completely fine. They will eventually kind of break down. Let's get a look at the moisture level here. It's been about a minute. This is the EcoWit moisture meter. And on the app, taking a look at this is showing 25%, which I'm okay with. That's usually what Fox Farm Ocean Forest soil has been around, between 20, 25% roughly. Each medium is kind of different what it shows for percentage. I often use BioFlower by Bio365. There's actually a bag over there. There's a ton of bags over there, actually. That one can get up to like 40%. And you may have seen here, it says lemon mandarin. That was the previous plant I used this moisture meter in. And below that was Nerds Rope S1, 0%. That's no longer growing. So I just old information there. Just figured I'd point that one out. But I'm okay with that moisture percentage right now. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna fill up some containers. I have 10-gallon fabric pots right there by AC Infinity. We'll get 4 of them filled, and then they're gonna go onto a self-watering base. So that's a wick system. Basically, the water is in a reservoir that's below the pot, and it wicks upwards into the pot. So once I fill up these pots, I'll get some plants into them. I'll put them onto the self-watering bases, and then the moisture level will kind of wick up as it needs to, and it should, fingers crossed, stay at the perfect moisture level that allows for the plants to grow vigorously. All right, so let's get this moisture meter out of here. We don't need this anymore. Let's bust open these fabric pots. We're gonna need 4 of these, and then we'll start filling them up.
And while I'm filling up these containers, I want to give a big thank you to AC Infinity for sponsoring this video. They have these fabric grow pots in a variety of different sizes. They also have a ton of different pieces of grow equipment, everything you need in order to grow plants indoors. Check them out at acinfinity.com, and you can use promo code MrGrowIt15. That code works on both their website as well as Amazon.
Okay, so I have all 4 containers filled up, and yeah, there was some dry pockets in there. I'm not too worried about it. I kind of mixed it in as best as I could. And like I mentioned, once I put this onto a wick system, the moisture level will wick up and everything will kind of even out from there. So now I'm at the point where I am going to amend these containers. Now I could have just taken this and kind of done a calculation and then amended the entire thing. What I like to do is put them in the individual containers and then just amend each individual container. So for stash base, just following the instructions on the back, it mentions as a soil amendment, use 2 tablespoons per gallon of growing media. Now these are 10-gallon pots. So what that equals to is about 1 1/4 cups of stash base will go into each one of these containers. So I'll go ahead and scoop that out right now, mix it in, and then we should be good to go. Now this stuff is pretty fine. I'm gonna wear a dust mask. Hopefully you guys can still hear me all right. Yeah, once I open up this bag, some stuff might go airborne. So using a dust mask, it just makes it so I don't breathe this stuff in or get up my nose or anything like that, so. Now I like to mix it into the top part of the medium. Some people like to go all the way down to the bottom. I'm a believer that as long as it's mixed in this top layer here, it eventually, as kind of water works in there and stuff like that, it'll eventually work its way throughout the media. So I don't try to go too deep down when it comes to mixing this stuff in with the soil. All right, that one is good. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so I have it mixed in, and what some people do is they will add in a little more soil on top just to kind of cover that layer that had the amendments in it. We got all 4 containers amended and we are ready to plant into it. So that's what's gonna happen in the next video. I am gonna transplant plants into these containers. So stick around. Thanks y'all for tuning in this time around. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.